Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing one of the iconic models from Girard-Perregaux. When people think of GP, they think of two model lines, the Laureato and this, the WW.TC. This is the Worldwide Time Control Chronograph. And the one you see right here is lovely with an off-white cream dial, 43mm diameter rose gold case. It is large, being 53.7 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, 13.6 millimeters thick, and it has a broad 22mm spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on the wrist. You can see it is a substantial timepiece. Being both a world time and a chronograph, it occupies a good deal of wrist real estate. Now you can see there is some curvature to the lugs, so they do drape nicely across the edge of your wrist, but I think my wrist is a little bit too small for this one. Could I wear it? It would sit securely, but I think proportionally you need a 17 centimeter circumference wrist to wear this well, and again, my wrist is 16. The strap is high grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather, bolstered to give it some thickness, medium brown. On the edge, you can see we have a sheer cut. We have a monotone stitch. This is a large rectangular symmetrical scale, so a very expensive cut. And you can see that GP drills the lugs very close to the case so that the pivot points of the strap are closer to the center of the watch, which helps smaller wrist fit. This is what really allows that 17 centimeter circumference wrist to wear the watch well, instead of requiring 18, 19, 20. It's a big watch, but it could have been even bigger a fit problem than it is, and that close drilling makes this watch fit just a little bit better than it would otherwise. But in order to make that happen, GP needs to use a curved spring bar so that the strap isn't constrained in its motion by wedging against the side of the case. Now you can see on the bottom, calfskin, a brand new Girard-Perregaux factory strap. And we have a matching single fold rose gold Girard-Perregaux deployant clasp. And as with all deployant clasps, the point is to form a loop with the other side of the strap and make it harder to accidentally drop your watch while you're donning or removing it. The case band is simple and strong. We have blended integrated lugs, polished domed bezel, polished lug hoods, satin finished mid-case. On both sides, you can see that the pushers are polished and that this is a modular complication. As you can see, the center line of the crown is somewhat below the center line of the chronograph pushers, so this is a modular chronograph world time. Now on the dial, you can see there's a couple of steps. Outboard, we have the city ring. Inboard of that, we have the 24-hour reference ring, and then inboard of that, we have the center dial. Now, the way this works, it's a little bit like Frankenstein's monster. You've got a bolt on each side. What you actually have, in this case, is a screw-down crown on each side. The one over at 9 o'clock changes your reference city. Remember, your reference city is always going to be right side up, so you want to make sure it's at 12. People ask, well, why isn't it at 6? Well, I suppose you could if you set everything accordingly, but an upside-down city, well, that just seems so upside down. Now, you can tell that there are a couple of cues as to when this was made, because among other things, we have Madeira, the Azores. Madeira wouldn't be there on a modern WW.TC. The Azores would be in a different position. Caracas would not be there, and for that matter, neither would Chicago on the latest WW.TCs. So there are some changes on the reference ring, but changes to the reference ring have been a constant on world time watches since the modern Louis Coutier format world time first debuted in the 1930s. Now, the way you do this is you basically put your city of reference up at 12 o'clock. So let's say I'm in Cairo now. I'm in Egypt, going to visit my friends there. Okay, now you read the hour first at center, but the hour at center and the date represent the time and date in your reference city. But you can also see adjacent, that little 8 means I'm looking at 8 a.m. in Cairo. We have two semicircles, one in white and one in a dark midnight kind of navy blue, and that gives you the approximate indication of where it's day and where it's night. And the way this works is you just read the minutes and then read the minutes at center, read the hour adjacent to your reference city. So I can see, for example, that in Noumea, it is 5:15. I can see that in Caracas, it is 2:15 in the morning. I can see in London it is 6:15 a.m., and that's exactly how it works. You just read radially all these reference cities, 24 principal time zones, 24 reference cities. We have an applied rose gold 12 applique rose gold indices. The watch is loomed, and you can see that is actually quite well loomed at that. We have a little sunken date window, and we have a chronograph. The chronograph is modular, but it uses a vertical clutch, so there's almost no motion to the chronograph seconds hand. When you start it up, it starts, but it doesn't jump, it doesn't stagger. That's the advantage of a vertical clutch. A vertical clutch system has no play, unlike a lateral clutch. Now you see I have a hacking or stop seconds function, and when I move the hour hand, the reference ring moves with it. And the reference ring, you'll note, moves counterclockwise. Now I've also got a quick set for the date, so if I need to rapidly cycle the date, you can see the date in its little window can be rapidly cycled. The watch does have a lovely Girard-Perregaux manufacturer caliber on the reverse. This is the 3387. It's based on the 3300 series. Automatic winding with unidirectional winding action, a 46-hour power reserve, quick set stop seconds, vertical clutch modular chronograph, and a 4 Hertz beat rate. You can see because this is a modular complication, it has a lot of jewels. So you can see 63 jewels. And then fine finish, we have circular Côte de Genève on the rotor along with beveling on its edge. We have linear Côte de Genève across the bridges. We have engine turning on the base plate as well as the retaining plate for the winding system. We have a nice mirrored bevel on the edge of the bridges, which is high horology, and then we have blued screws. You can also see there's satination on the wheels and double solarization, a particularly nice flourish of finish on the barrel itself, and all this is 30 meters water resistant. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Girard-Perregaux WW.TC.